right, here we go. Back on the action. Forex and crypto real life open positions breakdown. That is the live stream you are looking at right now, and I'm very happy to have you here, guys. We're going to be running on having a recap on our existing positions as we usually do. And of course, before the end, we're going to also look at our pending trading opportunities. We got three of those in both markets. And those are the trades that will follow. I mean, those are not trades yet, but they will be potentially, right? We got our setups over there and we're ready to strike when the moment is right. So we're going to talk about those. Let me start from the cryptocurrency market. Here we have two positions. We have two positions. Both of them are relatively fresh, guys. Last time we've been here and we talked about the last live stream, I was talking about the Bitcoin coming up towards 27,482. That was our target, and that was our short term target. We had two. We were working with two targets. One was the short term, which was this 27,482, and the other one was a more of ambitious one, representing the medium term cycle, so to speak, and that was 29,559. Now that level is still valid. However, when price action began to it got rejected off 27,482 when it kind of spiked that level slightly. And when it started to turn around, we felt there was a technical correction coming, right? So we jumped the ship and we were patiently waiting for price action to come off. And we knew it was going to test 26,237 and 26,018. Those two levels were right there, and I knew there was tons of support coming from that area. So we were just waiting for price action to come to us. As it did, just yesterday, we noticed it was kind of starting to drill through those levels. But I figured if by the end of the day it's going to jump back up and close the daily bar above 26,237, then it's going to be a good indication that the technical correction is over. So that's what happened, right? Price could pull back up, and guess what? We pulled the trigger. We fired off the first trade. We're basically re-establishing our bullish campaign on the Bitcoin. Again, going to be recycling 27,482 for the second time. Going to use that level again for profit. But again, it's going to be our secondary profit. I feel like pricing is going to solidify the touchdown this time. Not like what it did last time, right? Last time it just scratched it, just kissed it, but didn't really spike it. This time I feel like it's going to take that previous high. So 27,482 is a solid level to aim at. But later down the road, I feel like we're going to keep that position alive to chase 29,559. All right, that's where we're coming from as far as the Bitcoin goes. Take a look how it looks like from the weekly perspective. It's quite interesting. Pricing is just landing on that 26,237 level and backing away. Right, it's coming back up. It's pulling back up, leaving that spike because that level got broken a couple of weeks ago for the first time. After a few failed attempts, by the way, pricing was trying to crack that level for quite some time until it was successful a couple of weeks ago, and that level switched into a from a resistance level to support level. We see that this week with that weekly bar. So that's where we're coming from with the Bitcoin, right? Just pull the trigger. This is a fresh position. We got our stop level at 25,000 flat, right? Obviously, once we have that upside reversal, we'll start to adjust our stop level just as well. Second position we have, this one we hold for quite some time now. We talked about that last time we've been here. 200, let me show you this one actually on this one. Yeah, that's where I want to show you the Bitcoin Cash. Here we got $50,000 position running. On our second account, we have $100,000 position going on. Same situation, of course. Bitcoin Cash came off and hit that 275 huge support level that was able to hold And price action after a couple of months of technical correction leading to an explosive move back in June couldn't crack that support level, and that's where it stopped. That negative momentum was crashed by that level. And price could pull back up and close that monthly bar above that 200.75. Last month started on the back foot, mind you, had a second crack on that level. Well, a second attempt also failed. We see that now, getting closer to the end of the month, price could pull back up, and now it's even, it's turning positive. So clearly, massive support is coming in at that level, and we're talking long-term perspective here. We feel like price action is gearing up for a massive push of about 100% on potential return. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about 200 all the way to 418. According to my book, that's a 100% move, and it could be reached quickly. Again, take a look at what happened a couple of months ago, right? Price action came off of the lowest low was 90, the highest high, 328. So right there and then, 300% of return in a single month. I expect something similar, um, lurking around the corner. I mean, I can't predict that whether it's going to take a month or two. It might even take more than that. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a huge move, in terms of potential upside on the Bitcoin Cash. So that's where we're coming from with this one. Our stop loss level is at 155. That's the crypto market situation. Let me give you a quick look on the pending trading opportunity in the cryptocurrency market. This is our next candidate, if you will. And this is the Litecoin, guys. Litecoin, we're looking at the Litecoin, waiting for the right moment to strike. I feel like once it hit that 67.47 level and had started that technical correction, it could have gone even lower. This is why we're kind of reluctant to pull the trigger just yet, because there's more potential on the downside. However, since we come back up and break through 67.47, that's where we're going to step in, right? And we're going to chase 75. That's the next big resistance level. It's actually a combination of two resistance levels, two different resistance levels coming from two different systems. So you know, that's one part of that move from 67.47 to 75, and then the real bulk of the move from 75 to 95. That's really the move we're gonna try to chase. This is how it looks from the weekly perspective, the big picture, if you will. We feel like there is a huge tipping point right here at the bottom that's cooking up. Price is already starting to show that visible turnaround from a few, negative bars starting to change into a few positive bars, taking the previous major low that was determined back in early March. So I feel like the upside potential is huge. We're talking about 95 from 65. That's pretty much 50%, right? Straight up 50% of potential upside move here on the Litecoin. Again, we do not have any positions on the Litecoin just yet. This is the next candidate we're looking at very, very closely. All right, let's jump to the Forex market. Here, guys, we're holding two positions forever now. Like the euro dollar, that's our 45th day in a row, right? We started off, it was in um, back in July, late July, when price was starting to approach 109.11 right here. We knew the price was going to break down, and we got in way before the breakdown actually occurred. Ever since then, we've been surfing the waves, basically closing old and higher trades whenever we feel like there's a technical correction coming. And after that technical correction is over and pricing is resuming the original move, we're going back and starting to re-increase the positions again. But we've never closed that position. Even when price action hit 106.39, which was our primary target right off the bat, we designated 106.39 as our primary target when price action was still trading at 110, right? But I also said I'm not going to close. Well, I said probably we're not going to close the position entirely. It's 106.39 because we feel there's more potential in that pipeline. We feel like the last stretch was going to be 106.39 to 104.84. That's why we kept the position open. I mean, when price action hit that 106.39, we closed most of the position, but we still kept a small size position in place. Now looking at price action smashing that level just yesterday, it really gives us that confidence to double up the position size, and that's what we did right off the bat today. Fired off 50K, doubling up on the 50K we already had in. So we're 100K on the euro dollar and gearing up for the last stretch to 104.84. In case you're wondering why 104.84, let me quickly give you the recap. Pricing is coming from a definite high, right? It's been trading sideways ever since February, but it's coming off of a definite high that took the previous highs, right? This is uh, this situation usually turns up to be the same on the opposite direction, meaning price is going to try to chase the previous low. That's 105 back in March, right here. That's A. B, it's a simple projection, Fibonacci projection analysis. Just apply 123.6% on the previous opposite move, right here from the bottom all the way to the top. 123.6 will put you right here at 104.84. So the combination of these two elements that I've just mentioned just make that level a solid target to work with. So that's where we're coming from with the euro dollar. That's why we have our target over there. Also, stop loss level had been adjusted. We had our stop loss level at 107.85. We dropped it to 107.50, still keeping a healthy position. A healthy distance from price section, just in case it's gonna get extra noisy. So yeah, that's the situation with the euro dollar. Then our second position is the dollar Canadian, which we fired off not too long ago, a few days ago, when we noticed price action was engaging with 134.02. It's starting to pull back up. We knew that was our chance to jump in head first. That's pretty much what we did. We got in pretty aggressively, right? That was about a week ago. At first, we fired off 50K. A little bit later, when we noticed pricing was actually turning around, we fired off the second trade, 100K. So right now it's 150K position size, pretty big for a beginning of a potential position. But we feel very confident because when we're looking at the weekly chart, the big picture, we see a huge trading range, right? It's been trading ever since late 2022. That's on the large scale. Pricing is just coming from the bottom. Last time we checked, it was coming from the bottom, right? Back in July 23, that is. So we feel like it's on its way back up to the other side of that range, meaning 138 is the very minimum level we should be mentioning. Not to, we could mention also the previous highs around 140, right? But that's pretty much the range of target we're talking about. Price action just ending up, that's how we feel, ending up a technical correction of a couple of weeks. The way it pulled back off of 134.50 is money because there was a huge support level here, actually two different support levels sitting one on top of the other, belongs to different systems, the blue, the purple. So lots of support, 34.50. We were expecting that pullback. As it happened, we jumped in. Now I believe the technical correction is behind us, so I don't see anything holding price action to moving straight up all the way to 138. Now it could take time, of course. We're gonna have some local technical corrections along the way, but I feel like the major correction is behind us, so we should see price action kind of cruising towards that 138 level, which happens to be our primary target, not necessarily our final destination. We may decide to extend that move to 140, like I've marked that level right here with that green dotted line. What's where the previous high is, but not just that. It's also a Fibonacci projection analysis, so it just fits the narrative 140, right? But we're focusing on 138. Let's just keep our eyes on the ball. Also, 136.03 is another secondary target. We plan to take some profit off the table at that point, but continue to chase 138. That's pretty much the game plan. We'll see how that goes. As far as our pending trading opportunity for the Forex market, it's the Aussie Jap. Aussie Japanese yen, we got our eyes on this one. We're waiting after taking price action, taking the previous highs, a few days ago. That was last week actually. Just taking that previous high with that little spike there. I feel like there's a downside potential, downside reversal potentially on the horizon. So the minute price action starts to break through 95.19, there's a good chance we'll jump in, try to chase 93.82 on the short run, and 89.24 on the long run. Take a look at the monthly charts here. That's quite interesting, looking at the Aussie Jap, because what we're seeing here is ever since April 2022, imagine that, a year and a half, price has been trading sideways inside of that range that represented by this blue system. And it just hit that upper section and it started to turn around. It was preparing for a breakdown, but I feel like that been put on hold just for price action to have a bit of an upside correction locally. Locally. So even though price action is on the up and up, I still believe we're looking at a big downside move on the large scale, and it's just a matter of when rather than a matter of if. So we're patient. We'll see when it comes. Like I said, 95.19 is a good trigger level. When that level gets cracked, we're going to be all over the Aussie Jap on the way down, like I said, to 93.82 and later down the road to 89.24. So yeah, that's the next candidate, right? Aussie Jap. I think that's about that. We talked about the our positioning in the forex market and the cryptocurrency market as well as our pending trading opportunities. That's about that for the day, guys. I hope you enjoyed that session. We're going to be back on the next live stream, which is going to be next week. So make sure you don't miss that up. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you back. We'll see you next time. Take care. Cheers.